Welcome to day 9. Yes, it's day 9 already. Microsoft Excel. We're going to go over this program. It's a little bit more in depth. You may or may not need this, or may or may not benefit you in your church, but we want to go over it because it definitely can save some time and has a lot of practical applications. Alright, so we go into Microsoft Excel. This is what it looks like. It's a spreadsheet or accounting program. It allows us to manipulate different cells and actually add, subtract, multiply, divide, and do all kinds of different calculations and computations based upon the locations of where numbers are that you put in the spreadsheet. Each one of those little squares there, they're called cells. They're cross-referenced by their location. Letters going across the top, numbers down the side. So for example, the cell is right now in A1, and you actually see that right above where the square is. It actually has the location there. It says A1. So you know exactly where the cells are. Each one of those cells is kind of like its own little address. And when we put numbers in there, we can say if we put 15 in that spot, we have 15 in A1. And that's the location. And then we can manipulate those numbers based upon the location. Just like we would do normally when we do any type of arithmetic, addition, bookkeeping, check keeping, budget making. We can use those numbers. We can put them in here and manipulate them where we add, subtract, and so forth. So the basic thing is you'll see these lines here. Now when you print it out, we'll go over this a little bit later. When you print this out, if you were to put numbers in all those cells, you wouldn't see any of those grid lines. All you would see is a blank white space with whatever numbers you put in there. Just like with Microsoft Word, most of the boxes up top, at least that first set of boxes you'll see looks very similar. Font, size, bold, italicized, centering within the cell, cutting, paste is all there, very similar to Microsoft Word and PowerPoint actually for that matter. As you get over more to the right, it's more specialized in things dealing with accounting and conditional formatting. So that's the beginning part. This is what you're going to see when you bring up Microsoft Excel. And then you would actually have the number underneath that. So the total of those numbers, by clicking the automatic sum function, would automatically pop up with the total in the cell right below the last cell that's highlighted. So right underneath that 9 would be the total. So that's one quick way to do it when you're going vertical there, up and down. You can do a quick, easy. You don't even have to punch any calculations in to pick certain numbers. You're just adding that column. It'll come in the cell right below that last cell will have the total sum. Now, that doesn't always work as far as what we needed to do. It's a great function. It's really quick. However, there's other ways to manipulate and do that. Take this first column, and you can do it in any of the columns. What we're going to do is we're going to sum. We're going to add up all the numbers in that first column there, all the ones that are highlighted. And it's all highlighted in that blue because as we punch in the formula, and relax, we're not talking big algebraic formulas here, very simple ones. When you start to punch it encapsulates what cells you are referencing. Now if we're doing a long string of numbers like this vertical, you can also do this horizontally. We take the cells in order and we take the equal sign. That's how we start out all our manual calculations. The other one was automatic with the auto sum. This is a manual calculation. We start at the top with the cell for the top one, which is C3, and then we want to add all the consecutive numbers, whether they be horizontal, consecutive cells that is, horizontal or vertical, in a row. So we can go equals sum, because we're going to add, parentheses, and then in that bracket is where we put the range. We want to start out C3 and continue adding down in that column to C10. After we put that in, like I said, those cells will highlight as you go along. You close off with that last parentheses, and just as soon as you hit enter, the next number, or in that particular box, you will have the sum. Now the neat thing about doing it this way is if you change any of those numbers in C3 to C10, the sum will change as well. So it will automatically update as you change the numbers in that range. it will automatically update the sum after you hit enter in that cell. So that's pretty neat. Makes it quick going vertical or horizontal, as opposed to the auto sum that just does that horizontal. Going back to this, we only showed you adding. You can multiply, you can divide, you can subtract, any of that. The one thing you do want to remember is how would you manually do this, and then you write out the cells for the formula. Remember, don't forget, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So when you are doing multiplication and division with addition and subtraction, remember what order you do it in so you can equate the formula the same way. I know. You thought you were doing technology, not trigonometry and math and calculus and all that, right? Alright, so let's get back to this. I told you we would talk about how to make the borders. So when you print it out, you would actually have some of those grid lines if you so choose. If you go up to the main menu, go underneath the font, you'll see a little box there, and it has like it looks like a window actually with an underline or a heavy windowsill. If you click that down, you'll see that menu box, and it'll give you all types of borders that you can put on there. You could have just a right border, so just the one side of it has a line. You could do a left-sided border. You could do the all borders. That's what you saw in the last one. You could have a thick border on the outside and a thin all borders on the inside. Whatever would work for you to make it look appropriate, professional, and how you want it to do, you can adjust the outlines of the cells to match. Just doing it the light gray, it's going to come up white when you print it out, but if you add these outlines, you'll actually be able to get those grid lines on there. So you can play with that and see what works for you. And this is what it looks like with the all borders. Again, when you print it out, that's exactly what you'll see. And you can see the contrast, the darker outline versus the light gray outline for the normal cells. Again, do this what works for you. Another neat thing, I thought this was cool at least, you can actually highlight the cells. So each cell you can go up to, and right underneath the 11 there's a box that looks like a paint can. Put the cell, highlight the cell you want, and then click the paint can, and you can pick whatever color you want. They'll give you a bunch of stock ones there. You can go to more and get different tints, just like you can on PowerPoint and so forth. And again, a lot of the Microsoft products, the same functions are available on a lot of the same programs. The color being one of them. Now you can have the cells that color, and say you want to highlight that a certain. Again, going back to budgets, everything building is in one color, everything for trustees is in another color. However you want to differentiate it, you have that option. You can also change the font color, so the letters, the text, can be different colors. It can be black, it can be red, whatever color you're interested in that you may need to enhance or bold for everybody to notice and kind of move their eyes towards, you can change that here. So another really cool function, highlighting and changing the font color. Now another really cool thing, and this can get a little confusing. It takes some thought to know what you want to happen, and then you make it happen. If you say we're using this for a budget, and you wanted to know if the line item was over encumbered, you could do an if-then statement or a conditional formatting statement, so that if a number in a specific cell is greater than, less than, between, equal to, whatever your condition is, you can have that highlight or change the color of the cell, highlight or change the color of the text based upon what you want as far as your formatting goes. This again can come in handy for budgets, for statistics that you're running, to allow you to notice when you change the numbers, it'll automatically pop up and kind of bold that out, like, yo, we're in the red here, we need to get some money, or hey, we're not making our quote of how many people we really wanted to see, or our goal of how many people we wanted to see come into the church, or our average attendance, and so forth. Again, anything that you can use accounting or do some type of calculations, this program's great for, and this particular type of conditional formatting can help enhance that program also kind of jog your memory and focus you in on changes that you might need to be aware of. So that's a really cool thing you can do. After you click the greater than or less than, this box will come up. And then you put greater than or less than, and you put that in that left box or whatever your formatting is. And then in the right hand box, you click the down arrow. You can determine what the cell is going to change to. It's going to be light red fill with dark red text, or yellow fill with dark yellow text. Whatever your thought is or whatever you want, you have those options there. Or you can go down to custom formatting and then pick your own. Make it just a red fill with the black lettering or whatever you want. So you have all those options within there. Again, you're going to have to play with this and figure out how could you use this in your church. We use a couple different ways. I use it for budgeting. Now that I'm treasurer, I'm going to be using it even more for budgeting. We can use it for making graphs, doing reports, and again, statistics that we have to do or remember for our church. We can all do here, and again, it's great because it does the calculations for us. Alright, that was it as far as Excel goes. There's a lot, again, that you can do with that. You just need to take time and work with it. If you have any questions or anything on that, because this can be this one, and we're not going to do it in this class, but the database, Microsoft Access, are the probably two more complicated programs in the Microsoft thing. PowerPoint, once you play with that, it starts to become pretty simple, and Microsoft Word, again, it's just a Microsoft, a Power word processor, just like a typewriter that you can use, and there's so many of them out there. Alright, tomorrow, our final day. My goodness, 2 weeks went fast. Hopefully you, again, I've said it before, hopefully you've had some fun, you've learned something along the way. I know I have, especially with you folks helping me out and giving me tips and tricks that you guys use. Like I said, I learn usually as much as the students do, or at least I hope the students do, as we go through this. So I really appreciate your input, your follow-through throughout the week, the projects and everything. So take the final day, catch up on the projects, anything that we didn't do, whether it's posting comments to other people, finishing the mini project, or the class project, either or. Use this time to catch up and post all that up. There is a link in the discussion board to be able to keep in touch. If you go to that link, you fill out the information, basic information. I don't ask for phone numbers or anything, but if you want to put your email, Facebook, your church's website, your Facebook, your church's Facebook on there, put all that, enter all that information or whatever information you want. Hit submit. I'll wait like maybe a week or so after the class just to give everybody a chance to do it, and then I'll send all that information that I get out to everybody so we can try to stay in contact. It's my firm belief that if we can stay in contact, we have good networking, we can help each other out with problems and different things we deal with, not just in technology in the church, but in the church in general. Bounce ideas off each other. Hey, what do you do for outreach? What do you do for this? So it's a really good way that we can help each other out in our connectional. And just to give a plug, I have two more technology in the church classes coming up in February, starting February 15th. I have technology in the church social media. We go over Facebook. We go over Twitter. As you can tell through this course, I'm a big time saver. I love anything that can save me time. And there's resources out there that can save you time with social media. Let's face it, social media could encumber your entire day if you let it. I'm going to show you some tips on how you cannot let that happen, but still get a lot of good information out there. We'll go over YouTube even more. We'll get a little bit more in depth with that and learn how to use that more. You guys got a taste of it here because it kind of dovetails into the whole worship service, where we can put that online and spread it out and allow it to be available for our parishioners and anybody else that might want to watch our services. We'll also get into other social media like Twitter, Facebook, like I said, and get them together and continue other forms of social media. We'll have a couple of class projects in there just like we did here. And we have another one, technology in the church communications. As I've said in some posts and in classes I've taken, communications, well, they could be better probably in the church. And we're going to show you different ways to do that, ways to communicate via text, via email. Again, saving time on both and how we can pre-program messages to go out. If we just sit at a computer for an hour, we can have them go out for the rest of the month. So I'm going to show you some different programs, and again, my favorite word in here is free, favorite 4-letter word, and all these programs we're going to show you are free. How to set up a website, because that's another great communication tool, and how we can do that on a low budget as well, like I said, for free. Any way we can do some communications, we're going to go over that in this course. So 2 other technology in the church courses where we focus on different types of technology and different ways we can use that to benefit our church and how we do our business. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the course. This will be the last video, but we still have some ways to comment. Please fill out the evaluation link that I have there as well on the last day, and also the evaluation for Be a Disciple. Alright, again, if you guys have any questions, we'll probably leave this open until midnight on Sunday. If we need to, I could possibly extend it, but we'll try to keep it at that date for now. If you need any extra time or any problems or anything, please send me an email. And again, I hope you enjoy the course. We'll see you tomorrow for the final day. We'll wrap things up, and have a good weekend.